CNN.com right now. Reverend Wright also mentioned CNN special correspondent Soledad O'Brien in his speech last night. She joins us live from Detroit. You know, this was not a speech aimed just at the folks at the NAACP dinner last night, but also people across the country because it was carried on television. Do you think that Reverend Wright, I don't want to say changed any minds, but helped give people a better understanding of who he is and where he comes from?
Well, I think that the theme of different is not deficient. Maybe should have had a subtitle, which would have been "This is Who I Am" by the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, because I think really what he was trying to do was define himself for an audience to really hear. You know, most people have kind of heard him in little snippets and sound bites and 8-second little chunks. So I think he was trying and knew that he would be carried live and knew that this would be a speech a lot of people were going to watch. So I think he was trying to define himself, and he used the opportunity really to underscore that theme and also at the same time call for unity. Take a listen.
Please run and tell my stuck-on stupid friends that Arabic is a language. It's not a religion. Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. There are Arabic-speaking Christians, Arabic-speaking Jews, Arabic-speaking Muslims, and Arabic-speaking atheists. Arabic is a language. It's not a religion. Stop trying to scare folk by giving them an Arabic name as if there's some sort of disease.
If there was anything, John, that was controversial, I think it's what the Reverend said about the innate learning or educational differences between black children and white children. I think that there'll be a lot of people who involved in education who would say, well, you know, all children learn differently. It's not necessarily black children versus white children. But take a listen to what he said about that.
Dr. Hale showed us that in comparing African American children and European American children in the field of education, we were comparing apples and rocks. She discovered that the two different worlds have two different ways of learning. European and European American children have a left brain cognitive object-oriented learning style. African and African American children have a different way of learning. They are right brain, subject oriented in their learning styles. Right brain, that means creative and intuitive. Subject oriented means they learn not from an object, but from a subject. They learn from a person.
So there are certainly plenty of people in education who will say, not so fast on that, Reverend. All children across the board learn differently. It'll be interesting, though, to see, of course, maybe the primary question, what's the fallout for the Barack Obama campaign? Because I thought the 10,000 people inside at this dinner really thought it was a home run. But they were, you know, he was preaching to the choir. This is a very supportive crowd. And I think for people who really just wanted to hear Reverend Wright for themselves, you know, unfiltered, just hear what he had to say, it was an illuminating speech. It was a really funny, not angry, interesting, dynamic speech. So certainly a home run for him from that perspective. John?
And people will get a chance to hear more from him coming up about 25 minutes' time when he appears at the National Press Club in Washington. Soledad O'Brien for us this morning.
Senator, it's good to see you this morning.
Great to talk to you, John.
I want to just stipulate at the beginning of this interview, we are declaring a Reverend Wright-free zone today. So no questions about Reverend Wright. Our viewers want us to move on, so this morning we're going to move on. Is that okay with you?
Fair enough.
All right.
That sounds just fine.
Let's get right to the issues then. You have criticized